Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 3. And this is a bit of a one-off because I've actually got a husband and wife team who you'll recognise the wife because that's Louise, but she's sitting next to her husband Tim, and Tim is an avid Villa supporter. Now we wouldn't normally allow this on goonertube, but we thought, well, why not? Because we can get the feelings of both sides of the camp. Now, whether you had to sit next to each other tonight or whether you had separate rooms, or I would imagine you're going to have separate rooms tonight. But whether you had whether you had separate rooms while this was being while you were watching the match, you can let me know. But first of all I'll say is congratulations to Aston Villa. Tim, I'll come to you in a second. Louise, your thoughts, because I know from talking to you on text before we did this, you didn't. You had a few things you probably wanted to say.
Yeah, he's going to be in the spare room to start with. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm mad, actually. I'm really mad.
In what way?
I just think that none of the players turned up. Like, I looked at the team sheet before the game, and I was actually quite positive. And I thought, oh yeah, I quite like the sound of that. I think that's going to be all right. Holding in defence, Partey in the middle, Ober up front, but nobody turned up. And I'm actually pleased that there wasn't fans in the stadium, because I think if there was fans in the stadium, some of them would have walked out, because when we went 1-0 down, and then it was, is it a 1-0, is it not, and it took absolutely, VAR, but yeah, we just didn't turn up. And when we went 2-0, 3-0 down, it was like, I looked at the players and there was nobody, and I think this is what we're really missing. There was nobody who took the game by the scruff of the neck and went, no, we're not having this. Let's turn it round. There was no one. It just looked like they couldn't be bothered tonight.
Yeah, a friend of mine texted me and said it looked like Aubameyang had actually taken some hippo tranquilizers before the game, because his touch was awful. He did nothing. He looked like he was running through treacle, and there was nothing he had that seemed to be in any way threatening. And it's no wonder Tim would be smiling after this game, because if you get people like Aubameyang that are off colour, and they take Partey off at half time to try and create more penetration, then Tim, I'll come to you. It must have been, you must have looked at it and thought, bloody hell, we got this.
The trouble with Villa is you're never comfortable, but tonight, probably for the first time, probably since the Liverpool game, I felt comfortable even at 2-0. I think one of the differences between the two sides is we have quite a settled lineup. So that starting 11 that we had, I think, has been the starting 11 for either 5 or 6 of the 7 games that we've played so far this season. So I said to Louis, I think yesterday, I pretty much said what our starting 11 would be. And it was right. Where with Arsenal, you're not sure who's going to play which week. Like, you may have 2 or 3 changes. And I appreciate with the Europa League and the tight fixture congestion that we don't have, you do have to rotate a little bit more, but you're not sure who's going to play where. You got about 5 or 6 players who tend to be on the team sheet. Then who else plays with them. And one of the other things I noticed about for Arsenal around Aubameyang is at the beginning of the season when he started off, him and Lacazette seemed to be playing quite well. And I think Lou said to me that you thought maybe they were going to play a 4-4-2 formation with those 2 up top. But it just doesn't seem to be working with Aubameyang wide on the left at the moment.
No. Everybody was screaming for him to come. I had message after message saying, why aren't they playing? Just stick Aubameyang up the middle. Lacazette again, for me, isn't doing enough. He after the first couple of games, he seems to have fallen away in his form. His form in front of goal just seems to have been waning, and it's not doing us any favours if we're not having the supply to Aubameyang. Every ball over the top seemed too far in front of him. He was having to pick the ball up deep, and Villa played us really, really well. They did a kind of a Leicester job on us. So although I think we had more chances against Leicester in the first half and we should have taken them, But Villa really restricted us to chances. Tim, you'll probably agree with me on that one. I know you're a Villa supporter, so you're going to say yes anyway. But you could see that you almost strangled us in every department, didn't you? You didn't allow us to play. But having said that, taking nothing away from Villa, when with Grealish and Ollie Watkins and the rest of your players, you seem to all put a good shift in, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, getting Ross Barkley at the beginning of the season was a big coup for us. Chelsea player, England international, and with him, Watkins, Grealish, and Trezeguet, 11-4, basically, they go to all the counter-attacking football works for us. The last 2 games we've played against Leeds and Southampton at home have been games where we've had to pile on to create the chances and almost expected for us to win the game.
Yeah.
Like against Liverpool, where we were defending and playing counter-attacking football, and almost today as well. Quite happy to soak up the pressure with the back four and Louise and McGinn in that holding midfield role, and then let you come onto it, and then we break away. I mean, I'm just watching the highlights now, and you can see it's, an example here for Watkins' second goal is cross comes in from your left back or left side. Martinez catches it straight away, rolls out to Grealish, who runs half the length of the pitch.
Yeah,
feeds it into Watkins, and
as soon as Martinez got that ball, I turned to my dad and went, "Oh, yeah, too much space here." Louise, you must have been thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like we just don't seem to have that player like Grealish that, like I said, that can turn a game around, that can get the game by the scruff of the neck and go, "No, I'm not having this. I'll change it around. If none of you lot are going to do it, I'll do it myself." And Grealish does that week in and week out, and he normally does it against the top side. And we just don't seem to have anybody like that. Whether Partey is going to become that player when he's settled in and is in a lineup where he knows who he's playing with and he knows what setup's going to be, what tactics we're going to be playing, whether he can become that player, we'll have to wait and see. But at the minute, we just haven't got anybody that's sort of standing up and going, "Right, I'm not having this. Let's do something. Let's do something different."
I don't think Partey is going to be the type of penetrative, skillful midfielder the like that Grealish is, or even Barkley. But I think if we have got one, it's Martinelli, and if we do possibly need, I think we do possibly need to go and get someone of that mould, because I don't think we've got anybody good enough in the club, and I'm not sure if Arteta will have the time to develop someone over the next year. I think he'll want to do that behind someone else, but the talk is this young lad, this young German lad, but we can't be thinking about that. They've got to think about where are the goals coming from, I think. And at the moment we don't know.
Nowhere.
Do we?
We're just, we're not scoring like we should. We're not free scoring every week, which is what Arsenal fans are wanting and used to. I agree that Partey's not the same type of player as what Grealish is, but what I'm hoping he might be is that leader.
Well,
which Grealish is, where he could change a game, or he could, get the game by the scruff of the neck, like I said. But I mean, just going back to Aubameyang and Lacazette, I actually said to Tim that it's the way that Arteta's playing them at the minute. It's almost like they can't play together.
Very weird.
Whereas like in previous seasons, you saw Oba and Laka, and it was that partnership, and it worked. And it's like now, it's like, what's happened? They're just, I don't know if it's a confidence thing with both of them. If Laka had that opportunity, which was the best chance of the game for us last year, he'd have scored it. But this year, it went wide.
Well,
it's
whatever the situation.
I can't today. Normally there's somebody that I could pick out and go, he didn't have a bad game. I can't pick anybody out that had a good game.
No. I think Kieran Tierney was probably one of our better players, but Like I say, he's got to have a good team around him, and he didn't have a good team around him today. They seem to be working hard but getting nowhere. A lot of them look sluggish.
I mean, we were just passing side to side, not actually going anywhere.
Well, I think from your text before the final whistle, I was expecting you to you obviously calmed down a little bit in the 10 minutes since the final whistle, especially with him on your back, going on about the result. But listen, we'll leave it there. But thanks very much, Tim. You need to get in touch with VillaTube because I think you're wasted, mate. And and you can express your feelings to them. But for now, Louise, on to the next game. I think we've got international break coming up fairly soon. But no doubt.
God.
Yeah, I think so, and I think they bloody need it. To be honest. But we'll have to. It all remains to be seen. What sort of ticking off he's going to give them, and how he's going to start forming them in training and getting them to do different things, because that was atrocious tonight.
Yeah, I mean the one thing that we are at the minute is so inconsistent, because you look at the performance against Man United and brilliant, and then you look at that today and it's like,
yeah, I know.
Where did that come from?
Shite is the word.
Yeah. We were crap.
Right, exactly.
Your next game is away.
Well,
our
listen,
our next Premier League game's Leeds away.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, I'll give you time to wipe that silly smile off his face now. All right, by putting him in the spare room tonight. Thanks for joining me anyway.
Thanks.
No worries. Cheers.